Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of the Art of Radiating Love. I'm so happy to be recording another podcast episode. Podcasting has been my favorite thing to do. And after so many episodes, so much time recording, so much planning, so much preparation and research, I just love it the more I do it. And I'm so grateful to have started the Art of Radiating Love podcast. So yeah, I'm really excited to record today. Honestly, I have been waiting for 2 weeks to record today's podcast episode. I have to be in my best to record a podcast app, and every bi-weekly I would dedicate a certain time on a certain day to record one, just so that I know I will be on my best when I record it. So here I am. So yeah, let's just start off episode 13 with a life update as usual. I just love talking about life updates. So yeah, life update. I got my braces. Finally, I got my braces for real. I have been waiting for such a long time now, and finally I got it. The few weeks before I got my braces, I actually embraced my current teeth, right? Because back then, for 20 plus years of my life, I have never really liked my teeth the way it is. And now that the days leading up to that dentist appointment where I'll finally get my braces, the days leading up to that day, I actually have been embracing it, loving it for what it is. It just gets to you, you know? So yeah, now that I have finally got my braces, it's a great thing. I have always wanted to get braces. But right now, my oral hygiene routine is extensive. So the routine to get my teeth clean and all during the morning, evenings, including the afternoon, it has been really lengthy and extensive. It takes a lot of time to properly get my teeth clean right now with the braces and all. Yeah, the dentist has been stressing about make sure you clean your teeth and this and that. But yeah, I understand it's for my own good. And I really don't want to have any tooth decay the moment I get my braces off, maybe years later. So yeah, right now I'm really careful with brushing my teeth, and I try my best to get it clean as much as I can. So yeah, speaking of my teeth, the day after I got my braces, I actually bought a lot of oral hygiene products. Yeah, back then I did not think that I will have to get these oral hygiene products, because back then I wasn't really a person who really cared much about her teeth. As I progress, becoming an adult and such, I become much more particular in my teeth right now. So yeah, right now I take great care of my teeth. I brush it properly, I do all these cleaning and such. So yeah, if you have got braces, just know that if you are planning to get braces, just know that the cleaning routine just takes a really long time. You have to brush it, and then you will have to floss it. Of course, you will have to floss. I have been flossing before this. And then you have to use this thing. It looks like a toothpick to really get all the dirty things out of your mouth. Because when you get braces, right, when you eat, the thing gets stuck onto your braces really easily. So you have to get them out one by one, and you have to do that, you know. And flossing has been really difficult lately. Back then, flossing was really easy. But right now, there's these braces blocking my teeth. So it takes time to really get the junk out of my teeth. So yeah, that's why routine has been extensive. And then the mouthwash. Yeah. And then other than that, my best friend, she actually got me a travel kit for... It's actually like a oral hygiene travel kit with everything you need to clean your teeth. So yeah, bless her. And then because I got my braces, I have been having porridge lately. I can only eat porridge. I can drink, of course. I can drink like coffee and such, but no acid drinks, like carbonated drinks. I can't really drink that unless if I drink it with a straw. Then for the past week, I have been having porridge. So I've tried various porridge. And then because of that, I actually found out my current favorite porridge. Right now, I'm just having the meat and chicken porridge. The other day, I had like crab meat and pork porridge, but I actually don't really like the crab. Yeah, and then I also had fish porridge, fish with pork. Fish is okay. My dad got me fish porridge. And then I also had... Yeah, my favorite porridge so far is just the pork and the chicken porridge. So yeah, that's all I've been having. I can only eat porridge and cake. I've been having cake for a whole week right now. And then after that, I have also realized my hair has grown much longer. Because last year around the end of September, I actually chopped off my hair and then it reached until my shoulders. But right now, my hair has already grown so long. I think it's all the way until my chest right now. So it has grown really long. One of my goals is actually to grow my hair long and get it healthy. So my hair falls off a lot. So yeah, that's why I have been trying my best to do all these hair care routine. I have been trying rosemary oil, rosemary water. Yeah, I'm also thinking of getting scalp treatments every month, but we'll see how that goes. Because there was this one time I tried scalp treatment for the first time. But then honestly, it was really expensive just for one treatment, but it was so worth it, you know. After doing my scalp treatment, I think for 1 or 2 weeks, there was totally no hair fall. So I think that's something that I should look into. I think I will start doing that every month really soon. Okay, just so that I would be able to see some constant improvement on my hair. And then, yeah, because it's currently July right now, I have been doing like a mid-year check for my 2024 goals. I believe a lot of people, a lot of girls, a lot of people have been doing like a mid-year check-in for their 2024 goals. So I was looking at my vision board. I'm actually looking at it right now, and I realized I would say like 70%. Yeah, 70% of the vision board I have already accomplished a lot of the things. So I'm really grateful and proud of myself for keeping my word, for doing what I said what I was gonna do when I was gonna do it. So yeah, there are just a few more things I have to tick off in my vision board for 2024, and I'm planning to spend the rest of the second half of 2024 to do that. But honestly, right, I have also achieved a lot of accomplishments throughout the first half of 2024 that are not in my vision board. And these things I'm actually really proud of myself for achieving as well, just because I thought that I wouldn't be able to achieve. Well, I won't say I won't. Well, I wouldn't say I did not believe I wouldn't be able to achieve it. I guess it's more like I did not think that I would have enough time or like the dedication, the commitment to go through it, but I did. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. Yeah, I even heard that there are people who started doing like a second half of 2024 vision board, like a new one. Normally, your vision board is for the whole year, right? But some girls, they are just so amazing people. They started making a new vision board for the second half of the year. I figured, wow, that's so inspiring. And kudos to people who do that. Okay, maybe you are one of them too, so congratulations to you. Yeah, and then other than that, I have been working hard on so many things, and I'm super proud of myself. Me from a year ago would be really shocked of the me I am a year later. So yeah, I have been working hard for my younger self, for my older self, and it's safe to say that right now, as I'm saying this, I'm just really proud of me, and I genuinely hope that you, my listener, my flowers, okay, I hope that you are proud of your own achievements too. Just know that if there's something you want, you definitely can get it, alright? And then other than that, I have also watched a movie. It's called My Fault. Actually, this movie has come out since March, I think. Yeah, earlier this year, but I've only watched it during mid-year, and I feel so upset with myself for finding out that, oh, this movie is actually so good. Okay, honestly, I've been seeing a lot of reels and posts on Instagram saying, okay, this movie is so good because there's like a particular scene that went viral online, and everyone was just raving about how you should watch this, you should watch this. And I'm well aware of that, but I didn't really care about it, you know? And then there was one night I felt like, oh, I really want to watch a movie. I haven't watched movies in such a long time. I've been reading so much, and I haven't been reading, and I haven't been watching movies as much. So, yeah, I think it was a Wednesday night. Yeah, I didn't have work on that day, so I got the night for myself. So, yeah, I watched it, and then it was so good. Like, it just keeps you excited the more you watch it. And the ending scene, there was this particular scene in the ending that just got me hooked. I was so shocked. I was so just genuinely shocked and excited and surprised and just excited. Yeah, just excited. Like, you guys should watch My Fault. Yeah, the movie is called My Fault. It's actually a romance movie. Something to do with the girl's stepbrother. Apparently, this girl, her mom remarried to a new husband, and that husband has a son of his own. So yeah, the girl and the mom, they moved in, and then the girl, the heroine, she met this guy who happens to be her stepbrother, and yeah, that's their romance. But honestly, it's so good. It has something to do with race cars too. And this girl, she can drive, that girl can drive. So if that's your vibe, you should totally watch it. Like, I'm so obsessed because I just love everything romance. Like, books, movies, if they're good, give me them. Give me all. So yeah, I'm really obsessed. If you haven't watched it, you should. Alright? The guy and the girl, they are both so good looking as well, and they're both hot. So good at romancing each other. Like, you can see their acting. Gosh, it's just so good. You should just watch it. So other than movies, The Good Girl's Guide to Murder came out earlier in July. So it's actually a, what's it called? Like crime. The genre is like a crime, murder, mystery. Yeah, like a mystery TV series. You guys should totally watch it if you haven't. Now, the reason why I watch these movies is because I love the series, okay? I love the book series. I actually devoured all 3 of the books, and I just loved it so much. And then, yeah, when I heard that they're doing a TV series, I was so excited. Okay, and then the moment it dropped a few days later, I actually sacrificed my beloved sleep. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but my sleep is just so sacred. I make sure I get 8 hours of sleep every day. Yeah, I just love my sleep, okay? And the fact that I sacrifice my sleep, I guess it's more like compromise. I compromise my sleep to watch this series. It speaks volumes of how excited I was for it. Yeah, so I think I didn't actually binge watch the entire thing in one day. It's just 6 episodes only, with like 40 minutes for each episode. But yeah, although it's 6 episodes, it's so good. Well, I guess I wouldn't say like it's the best of the best. I've definitely watched better TV series than this, but this is okay. It's okay. It's, if I have to like give it, okay, let's say if we had to give it in between 10 stars, I would probably give it like a 7.5 if I'm being lenient. Yeah, I guess 7 is a good number. Yeah, but overall it's kind of good. So yeah. And then, as for today, I actually stayed at home working on a lot of the things that matter to me. I spent a lot of my off days, or maybe the extra times I have during the day, working on everything that matters to me. Well, yeah. And then for today afternoon, I actually went out to buy my vitamin supplements. I actually take vitamin C every day. My family does too. So yeah, we ran out of that, and I went out to get them. And then I bought cake. Yeah. So because I've been having braces, I actually can't really eat much. I can only eat porridge, cake. So yeah, I got orange cake and cheesecake. Oh wow, they were actually so good. I loved it so much. And then today I have been reading as well. I read Reckless. I'll talk about that book in a bit. Yeah, I read Reckless when I had some extra time in my hands. And before I take a shower, I actually cut my own bangs today, and I think they turned out really well. Yeah, I actually kind of like the bangs that I cut earlier today. So yeah, I actually cut my own bangs because my bangs grow really fast, and I can't be bothered to go to the salon every month. So yeah, I cut my bangs on my own. Okay, the reason why I don't like going to the salon to get a haircut, especially the bangs, is because it doesn't end up well a lot of the times. I actually come home disappointed with how the barber cuts my bangs. So yeah, I decide to take matters into my own hands. I just cut it the way I like it, and yeah, I find that every time I cut my own bangs, I actually like it. So yeah, that's what I did. And then what I'm reading. So the last time I updated you guys, I told you that I'm actually reading, yeah, I did tell you that I was reading Echoes of You, right? And then I have finished Glimmers of You. I gave that 5 stars. And then what else? Let me see. What have I read? Other than Glimmers of You, I actually read Shadows of You as well. Shadows of You is actually the fourth book in this small town romance series, and Ashes of You was so good. Like, so good, so good. Ashes of You is actually the last book in the... I don't actually remember what is the name of the series. Let me check. Yeah, it's part of the Lost and Found series. It's actually a small town romance. So yeah, I actually read all 5 of the books, and then after that, I was craving like a romance as well, but of a different subgenre. So I actually picked up a book written by an author I have really come to love. It's called Learn Your Lesson. It's actually a hockey romance. It's between this nanny slash kindergarten teacher. Yeah, she does teaches kindergarten. And this hockey player who has a daughter. And then after that, I was actually craving for some STEM romance. And who else to look for STEM romance other than the queen herself, Ailey Hazelwood. I felt like reading Ailey Hazelwood books just because she writes the best kind of STEM books, for real. Yeah, if you like books on STEM fields, academia, definitely check out Ailey Hazelwood. She is actually a neuroscience professor as well, and then she's also a romance novelist herself. So yeah, I love her books so much. She's actually releasing a book soon, so I can't wait for that as well. And recently, she has written a fantasy romance centering vampires and werewolves. That was actually her first fantasy book, and it was so good, so good. Anything Ailey Hazelwood writes, I read. And then, as of right now, I'm actually reading Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Yeah, it's actually part of the Powerless trilogy series. So I actually read her first book, which is called Powerless, and I have come to love that. And honestly, I'm ashamed to say that I kind of forgot what the first book was about. So I actually went to the internet to look up for like a quick recap of it, and I read through the recap. Then only I started reading the second book, which recently came out, which is Reckless. So I actually read the book just now, like right before I recorded, right before I record this podcast app. So I'm actually in like 58% of the book, and I guess so far so good. Yeah. Then things I'm loving. Okay, I think previously I did said that I'm obsessed with pop sockets, but I kind of got bored of it, so I needed a change. So I changed back to like a white casing, and then I removed the pop socket. And then yeah, other than that, I'm actually really obsessed with Spotify playlists. I just like that whenever you want a certain kind of music or like a certain kind of playlist, you can just search it up on Spotify, and then they have everything. So recently I found really good playlists. It's actually like a morning, afternoon, night playlist containing slow music. Oh, it's just so good. Recently I have been listening to a lot of slow music from this playlist called Afternoon Playlist. Then things I'm loving, I have been having cake. Yeah, I have been eating cake every day for this week. I've been having cake for one whole week actually. Today I had orange and vanilla cake. Yeah, but I have been trying many kinds of cakes. My dad has been buying lots of cakes. Yeah, and then the TV series and the movie that I talked about, I've been loving those. So what I'm grateful for, I'm actually grateful for my workspace, like the space that I'm sitting right now, where I work, where all the magic happens. Yeah, where all the magic happens and such. I'm really grateful for my workspace. I'm actually sitting right in front of my laptop right now as I'm recording this. Like, this space is the space where I pour my love, my heart, my soul, my everything. Yeah, so really grateful for this workspace. And then I'm really grateful for sunlight. Like, actually, this afternoon, I kind of texted my best friends. I told them I'm going out. I wanted to see the sun. I felt like I have been compartmentalized at home because I work from home, right? And I don't really go out as much. Yeah, and then I'm also really grateful for myself for doing what I say I was gonna do when I was gonna do it. So, definitely. And then, yeah, I guess that's all for my update. A really long update, actually. I feel like every episode it comes with a really long episode. Yeah, so I really hope you guys like the first segment where I update you about my life, about what I'm reading, what I'm loving, and such. Because I really enjoy talking about it. Yeah, so let's just start off with today's podcast. So for this podcast episode, we're going to talk about unconditional love. Okay, so we have two podcast chapters, which is number 1, what is unconditional love? And yeah, and then next one, the second chapter is how to love unconditionally. So yeah, stay tuned. Okay. Alright, so let's just start off with the first part of this podcast, which is what is unconditional love. So this is actually something that I have been thinking about for probably 1 or 2 weeks or so, because I have been thinking about it for such a long time. Honestly, when you're thinking about something for 1 or 2 weeks straight, like with no pause in between, you know that it's something to be addressed, right? Obviously there's something to it, otherwise why would I keep thinking about it for the past 1 or 2 weeks, right? So because I have been thinking about it for 1 or 2 weeks, it has come to the point where I felt like I have to do the research, right? Like, what is that? I mean, I do know what is that, but I really want to get into the psychology behind it, the explanation behind it, how it works, what is it, like, do I have it? Do I experience it? Do people around me live this, right? So yeah, so I did some scouring on the internet, and then I was really surprised to see that when I did my research on this unconditional love topic, I found that I can't really find many resources teaching or explaining much on unconditional love. So it really frustrated me. Yeah, and I feel like the information online is really limited. I can't really find YouTube videos talking about it, and even if it did not actually went in depth on it, which really frustrated me. And then I actually watch a lot of self-development YouTubers, and none of them, and mind you, I actually watch a lot of women who talk about self-development things and such, but none of them talked about unconditional love. So I actually went to so what I did next was I went to Spotify, and then I tried to look for podcasts talking about it, and I can't really find much. Even the ones that did talk about it, they didn't really talk about it much. And after listening to it right? I did not actually get the answers that I have been looking for. It didn't actually solve my curiosity. So yeah, it was really frustrating. And then I went to Google. I tried to look for resources explaining things behind it. It's the same. It's very limited. So I figured, why not talk about this topic in today's episode. So yeah, let me just talk about myself briefly. I actually have parents who have given me unconditional love for so many years of my life, ever since I was a child, all the way until the me right now. So they have been giving me unconditional love for 23 years of my life, even until today. I can feel it every single day. Like, I can really feel the unconditional love every single day. It doesn't matter what happens. The good, the bad, especially the bad, right? Where things start to test them. Okay, but regardless, they still provide me with the unconditional love. And the thing is, you might be really surprised to think that for a person who has been given unconditional love for most of her life, you would think that she can give unconditional love really easily. She understands what it is. And maybe I do. But even after being given unconditional love for 23 years of my life, I can't seem to be able to do what they did for me for someone else. For example, if I am to provide unconditional love to someone, I don't think I would be able to do it as well as they do right now. Yeah, I feel like the love I give to people around me, they always come with expectations, and that's the thing with unconditional love. Unconditional love is love where you don't give, where you don't have any expectations on people. And that's the thing about me. I always expect something. So yeah, which brings me to this podcast topic. You would think that for a person who has been given unconditional love her whole life, she wouldn't be struggling to give the same kind of love to everyone else. You would think that she would be able to give unconditional love so easily, so effortlessly, but I don't think that's the case. I feel like this is something that I really have to work on, and I hope that after this podcast episode, I feel like I hope I would be able to provide this kind of love to all my loved ones, because I feel like this is the purest kind of love and the truest love you can ever give. So yeah, what is unconditional love, right? Unconditional love is actually love that is where you love freely without condition. It's the kind of love where you love without strings attached. It's loving without expectations. It's love that is not transactional. You love them for who they are. It's the kind of love that exists with no bounds. You simply love them and want nothing more than their happiness. It's the kind of love that is reciprocated. It's the purest form of love. Just to love for love's sake and without expectations. You're just loving for the sake of love, right? And it's also the selfless act of loving someone with full acceptance and without expecting anything in return. It's also the kind of love where you can be yourself freely without fear of judgment. The moment you are afraid of how people judge you or see you in their eyes, that is not unconditional love, and this is something that I feel when I'm around my friends. So yeah, I love my friends a lot, and I know they feel the same for me. We have been besties for over 10 years right now, but even so, I thought that the kind of love we have for each other is unconditional. But after reading and doing research, I can't lie over the fact that whenever I am out with my friends, I am afraid of how they would judge me or see me in their eyes. And because of that, that's not unconditional love, right? So I guess that is something to work on, something that I will have to learn more on. So in romantic definition, it's the kind of love you read in books and watch in movies. This form of unconditional love means accepting your partner fully with their flaws and imperfections and loving them without conditions or expectations. So it involves unwavering support, patience, and a deep commitment to the relationship, regardless of the challenges that may arise. Other than that, in family definition, it's the kind of love where children and parents experience. You know, they always say that if you are never a parent, you would never understand or be able to give unconditional love. Because when you have children, you are going to love them no matter what. Even if they're in the wrong, you will always side them just because you love them so much. It's like you want to protect them. You don't expect much of them. Yeah, this is something that I have asked my friend about. To my dismay, we really did not talk about it much just because I feel like my friends and I were not really familiar with unconditional love. So yeah, unconditional love in a family context, it means loving your family members regardless of their actions, their choices, or circumstances. It's about providing a constant source of support, understanding, acceptance, and always being there through thick and thin. So in friendship definition, this type of unconditional love involves being there for your friends no matter what, offering support and encouragement without expecting anything in return. So the word expectations really plays a huge role in this topic. So it's about accepting your friends as they are and standing by them through all of life's ups and downs. Of course, the most important relationship of all is your personal relationship with yourself. So unconditional love in self-love context, it means embracing who you are with all your strengths and weaknesses and treating yourself with kindness and compassion. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and not basing your self-esteem on external factors or achievements. I feel like among all four of this, the hardest unconditional love to master is the one with yourself. It's easy to love others, but it's not easy to love yourself. So that's why there are a lot of healing. There's lots of healing work that comes with it. So after listening to all of that, right, actually all of them have something in common. So if you do realize, based on the definitions above, all four types, including personal self-love, share the following common elements, which is, okay, for example, loving without conditions. Other than that, enduring support, compassion, and empathy. Of course, having compassion and empathy. Okay, I feel like a deep sense of understanding and empathy should be present, where one genuinely cares for the well-being and happiness of someone else and yourself. Other than that, commitment through adversity. So even in the face of challenges and difficulties, when you demonstrate a commitment that doesn't waver in the face of hardship, that is unconditional love. Other than that, non-judgmental attitude, like the one where I mentioned about friends, like the moment you are worried of how people judge you or when you judge others, that's not unconditional love. Okay, and yeah, so all these elements, they create a foundation of trust, security, and deep connection, ensuring that the love remains strong and supportive no matter the context. So now that we have that, okay, of course everyone wants this kind of love, but is it possible, or are they only in fairy tales? Now that is something for you to ponder on. So the $1,000,000 question here is, how do you love unconditionally? And the most important question of all is it possible? Now here's the thing, if you have never received unconditional love, okay, it may be very hard to give it. Like even for me, I have been receiving unconditional love. With all my confidence, I can say that I feel the love from my parents every day of my life, and I truly do not take it granted. I'm really grateful for them. I wouldn't want any kind of other parents. I honestly really love them. Okay? Yeah. So imagine a person who has never received unconditional love. Okay, it is very hard to give it because you won't actually understand what is that because you have never felt it. Now in my case, I have felt it every day of my life. My parents has nurtured me with and cultivate me with plenty of unconditional love. Even when I did something wrong, they would always still have my back. They don't expect much from me, just want me to be happy. And there are so many explanations that come with it. I don't think however much explanation I'm able to give, no words can truly describe the unconditional love that I have been given all my life. So imagine for my case, a person who has been given unconditional love for all of her life thinks that it's very hard to give it. Right. I have received it all my life, but even right now, I feel like it's so hard to give it just because I have so much expectations and such. There was one time I even told my mom that I don't think I can be a parent. So of course, she did ask, why do you say so? Because I said, I feel like I'm either going to be the best parent ever or the worst parent ever. There's no in between. I'm pretty much a all or nothing person, which is actually a weakness. It's something that I really have to work on. Because I feel like now that I have seen how unconditional love really looks like, feels like, I don't think I would be able to be the best kind of parent I could be if I were to have a child, because I don't think I can do the things that my parents has done for me, has sacrificed for me and such. So yeah, that's the thing. Even for a person who has received immense amount of unconditional love, thinks it's so hard to give it. Can you imagine a person who has never received it in their life? Or maybe they have, but not every day, not as much. Sometimes. Okay, it's definitely harder for this group of people to give it. So, yeah, let's talk about how do we love unconditionally. So, I will just start off with the most important point of all. I'm not going to mention this point the last just because I feel like this is the most important of all, because this is the foundation, this is the underpin, which is self-love. So here in the Art of Radiating Love, I talk a lot about self-love, right? Because without that, there's truly nothing else, right? self-love really comes first. It's the footing, it's the understructure, the underpin, the everything. It's the base, it's the foundation, it's everything, truly. Like, if you don't have this, everything else just doesn't come. So if you don't love yourself first, right, you may most likely accept toxic love into your life because you can't recognize what you truly deserve. So when you know who you are and what your needs are, and you develop a sense of self-worth, and you also develop healthy unconditional love, which is more likely to find you. So once you understand this, you'll be able to fully discern between healthy and unhealthy love and accept unconditional love when it arrives, rather than searching high and low for it. So unconditional love starts with self-love. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't pour from an empty cup. Let me rephrase that again. Let me reiterate that again. You can't pour from an empty cup. So it's essential to nurture and care for yourself first. Loving yourself unconditionally sets the standard for you and how you should be treated, which enables you to give love freely and genuinely to others. Other than that, how do you love unconditionally? So to do that, you have to practice unconditional love yourself. So here's a way, which is you can do something for someone even without expecting anything in return. I believe this is hard for a lot of people, even for myself. So that's why we should start small. So simple things like preparing coffee for your loved ones without expecting a thank you. Now that is a huge thing. When you do something for someone and they don't thank you, that's probably the most frustrating thing ever. So that's why we are practicing it right now. Okay? Other than that, when you're driving and there's a car right in front of you trying to get past, so let them, let them pass even without them giving you back a waving gesture of thanks. Even if they don't give thanks, who cares? I don't expect that. That is a way for you to practice unconditional love in the easiest way, right? Other than that, another way to do it is you can accept other people's faults without having the need to change them. So disclaimer, okay, of course, you need to set boundaries too, just like with any other relationship, to ensure it is a healthy relationship. We do not tolerate toxic love here. Unconditional love means you embrace someone exactly as they are, without feeling the urge to alter their personality or behavior. So it's all about recognizing and accepting their imperfections and idiosyncrasies. In case you don't know what is idiosyncrasy, it means the mode of behavior of a person or a way of thought which is peculiar or different to an individual. So yeah, even with that, you should be accepting of it. So this kind of acceptance fosters a safe and supportive environment where people feel valued, understood, and at the same time it allows them to grow and evolve at their own pace. Other than that, another way to practice it is look out for your loved one's best interests. So loving unconditionally involves genuinely caring for the well-being of others. So it means prioritizing their needs and happiness, often putting their interests above your own. Now, this is where self-boundaries come from. Even when you want to put their interests above your own, make sure you set a boundary there. So, first things first, don't forget boundaries. Even if you try to love unconditionally, remember setting boundaries. That's one of the most important things that come into play. Okay? And other than that, this kind of love ensures that decisions are made with the best interests, fostering a nurturing and supportive dynamic in the relationship. Okay? Other than that, practice giving trust freely. So trust is a cornerstone of unconditional love. So it involves having faith in other people's intentions and actions without needing constant reassurance or proof. So it does build a really strong foundation of mutual respect and reliability, which is essential for any healthy relationship. Okay, make sure you learn to respect others even when you disagree. Now, I believe this is probably the hardest thing to do among everything in this list, other than the self-love part. So, when you disagree with someone, it's really hard to not be defensive, especially if it goes against your values. So, yeah, practice communicating in a non-defensive way. Express your feelings while listening and taking the other person's feelings into account. Try to listen to them with an open mind. Unconditional love doesn't mean agreeing on everything, It's about respecting the other person's opinions, beliefs, and values, even when they differ from your own. So this respect is crucial for maintaining harmony and understanding in relationships, allowing for healthy and at the same time constructive disagreements. Alright, and here's another how for you to practice unconditional love. So, be there, genuinely be there through the good and the bad. So, unconditional love is steadfast. It means standing by your loved ones, not only during the joyful and successful times, but also through challenges and hardships. So, this shows unwavering support. Okay, and at the same time, you can reassure them that they are not alone, providing strength and comfort in difficult times. Alright, and then I feel like the next point is one of the biggest ones, which is understand their values. So this is something that a lot of people do not understand, which is people do things based on values, especially when you are an adult. You begin to understand the world better. Okay, you do things based on values. So to love someone unconditionally, you must understand what is important to them. Okay, take the time to understand their core values, beliefs, their motivation, what keeps them going, what do they like, what are their dreams. So this understanding, especially the values, right, it allows you to connect on a deeper level, and at the same time, you can support them in ways that align with their true selves. So, which also means you can help foster meaningful and fulfilling relationships and connections. So, I guess another $1,000,000 question is, how do you understand other people's values? Okay, so this is a healthy practice for you to do, but of course, I will give you an example scenario. So let's say, for example, imagine you have a close friend and she is called Emma. Okay, so Emma is very passionate about environmental conservation. So Emma's core values include sustainability, protecting the wildlife, reducing carbon footprints. So you may not share the same level of passion for these issues, but you do recognize that they are important to her. Now, of course, you want to love Emma for who she is, right? And you want to show your unconditional love to her. So let's say, for example, okay, here's a scenario. Emma, she has organized a local community event to clean up a nearby beach, right? So she has put in a lot of work to rally volunteers, gather supplies, promote the event. So she has spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears on this project. So the day before the event, she tells you how much it means to her and how she hopes it will make a significant impact. So when you want to demonstrate unconditional love for her, there's many ways to do it. Alright? So the first way is you can support her efforts. So even if environmental conservation isn't your primary concern because it's not part of your values, you can support her. Okay, you can volunteer at this beach cleanup that she has organized. So you show up early, you help set up, okay, and participate actively throughout the day, right? Like even if you don't go all in, the part where you show up, that itself is already huge. And Emma will feel really grateful for you seeing that, right? Okay, other than that, you can provide encouragement and motivation. So, for example, during the event, you can offer words of encouragement, you can praise her for her dedication and hard work, you can help motivate other volunteers that were there in that event too. So you can be the person who is spreading positive energy, okay, you can be the person who is spreading enthusiasm, right? That's another way to do it. Or you can also reflect her values in your actions. So say for example, after the event has ended, okay, you can make an effort to incorporate some of Emma's sustainable practices into your own life. So you start recycling more diligently, you reduce your plastic usage, and then you become a person who is much more mindful of your environmental impact. So I understand it's a lot to do everything at once, but even if you don't fully do it as much, but the fact that you do even a bit, or it reminds you in a way, that itself is a way of you reflecting her values into your actions. Okay, and then the last one, another way for you to do it is you can celebrate her success. Okay, so when Emma shares the positive outcomes of the event, such as the amount of trash that everyone has collected, and then the amount of awareness raised, you can celebrate with her. You express genuine pride and happiness for her acceptance. For her achievements, okay, you express genuine pride and happiness for her achievements. You reinforce your support for her values. So this is how you demonstrate unconditional love, okay, in the part where you understand other people's values. So when you understand other people's values, that is a way for you to practice and show unconditional love, right? I feel like core values is a really huge thing. Like even for me, I think values are really important to me as well. So I try to communicate my values as much as possible. And when people understand that, I feel really touched and grateful. So yeah, by understanding and supporting Emma's values, you get to strengthen your bond with her. You get to show her that you respect and appreciate what is important to her. So this deeper connection, it fosters a meaningful and fulfilling relationship, which is rooted in unconditional love and mutual respect. So yeah, in conclusion, I guess in a nutshell, accept the person as he or she with an open-minded, open heart, and non-judgmental manner. Set no expectations, just love for the sake of love itself. So yeah, here is a quote. I believe this is a quote that you see in a lot of books. And this is a quote that a lot of people know of. Okay, I don't normally quote from the Bible, but honestly, this quote, right, I actually found it in a lot of books that I have read. I think I have read probably over 10 books that has this quote. So that's why this quote really means a lot to me, and it's always in my radar. So here's me quoting the Bible, which is, quote, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud." So it does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. So it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Yeah, that is one of my favorite quotes ever. I saved it into my Goodreads. So whenever I read a book and then I see this quote, it just gives me the feels. Love is something that you don't only experience it with relationships, with your partners, it's everywhere. Like between you and your friends, your family, the community, the world. It just means so much. And I love love. So yeah, that is all for today's podcast episode. That is unconditional love. So before we end the podcast, here's the closing segment. Of course, we don't end the podcast episode without a task for you to implement what you have learned today. So here's a task for you. Okay, so I did mention this in one of the points where I mentioned how to practice unconditional love, right? So what you can do is you do something for someone without expecting anything in return. So there are so many ways for you to practice this. It doesn't really take much of an effort, okay? So here are just some examples how you can do something for other people without expecting anything in return. So for example, you can offer help. Okay, you help someone with their groceries, carry something heavy, assisting a task that they're currently struggling with, right? You can listen to them. Sometimes just lending an ear to someone who needs to talk can be really incredibly helpful. Other than that, you can give compliments, because genuine compliments, they can brighten someone's day without any cost. It's totally free. Giving compliments, giving love, it's free. Then you can also send a thoughtful message. You can drop a text or a note to check in on someone and see how they're doing, right? It doesn't really require much of an effort too. Okay, you can share knowledge, do something for someone without expecting anything. Share knowledge is one way to do it. You can, if you have expertise in something, you can offer to teach it to them. You can offer to share your knowledge with people who might benefit from it. So yeah, you can also give random acts of kindness. Let's say, for example, if you are able to, you could even pay for someone's coffee or a meal. You know what people like to do in drive-thrus? They like to pay for the person at the back's meal, which is pretty sweet actually. I feel like that's something that I would wish to do. Yeah, or you can also do something small like leaving a positive note for someone to find, right? So yeah, these are many of the small and simple ways. Although it is a simple thing to do, but it's definitely not a small thing for the person who is on the receiving end. So yeah, here's an affirmation centering around unconditional love. So do repeat it with me. Alright, first things first, I love and accept myself unconditionally. Okay, next, I am capable of loving others without expecting anything in return. And the third one, love flows freely through me, nurturing all my relationships. So yeah, that is all for my episode 13, Unconditional Love. So yeah, I do genuinely hope that After listening to this podcast episode, you learn a lot more on what is unconditional love. I hope you will be able to implement all the things that you have learned before. Like, even if you don't remember or implement everything, it's fine, but try your best to do at least maybe one or two of them. You can pick out the easy ones to start off first, like doing something for someone without expecting anything in return. It doesn't have to be anything grand, just something small that is nice. Yeah, so please do one of that. So I hope that I feel like after recording this episode, right, I have genuinely come to understand what is unconditional love, because I feel like being able to record it, to say out everything that I have learned, it goes into my head better, Like when you work so hard researching on a certain topic, and the fact that you are able to teach it for someone else, it ingrains, right? It ingrains into your mind really swiftly and easily. So yeah, I hope you enjoy today's podcast episode. I would say that this episode is a really meaningful one for me, just because unconditional love really means a lot to me. Like, I have been receiving it all my life, and I hope to be able to give it to everyone else, my friends, family, myself, and just everyone that crossed my path. So this is what the art of radiating love is about. Okay? So yeah, before I end the segment, make sure you follow my podcast Instagram account at the art of radiating love. So this podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Please follow me. Alright, all links are available in the description. Make sure to leave a 5-star rating, share it to everyone, screenshot, send the link, send an email, do whatever you can. So again, here's a reminder for you. Put yourself first, take care of yourself, love yourself, and always radiate love. So yeah, just like any other episode, like, this is my gratitude for you. As the host of The Art of Radiating Love, I'm so grateful that you're here. I'm so grateful to be able to record a podcast today. I'm so grateful that you have come to listen to my podcast episode. I'm just so grateful for the growth of this podcast and how much it has impacted my life, and I hope it does impact yours as well. So yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next podcast episode. Thank you for listening. Bye everyone. See you in the next episode. See you in episode 14. Bye.